So I'm wearing chains today from my belt loop and dangling from my plugs, and I've just been jangling into the microphone for about 5 minutes. So let's try this again from the top. Let's go. Hey guys, Cryptid here, your humble internet drawer, and I do realise that joke doesn't work quite so well without the avatar and the little drawers, and I just sound more illiterate than I already am. I am working on a new avatar, it's not done yet. I haven't actually had a lot of time lately to be doing just straight up drawing, and I will get to that. But first, this speed draw, I regret to inform you, is actually it's nearly 2 months old. It's a little bit of a vintage one today. And this is from, I made this one just after I made my last Painterly speed draw where I tried doing that. This was me trying it a second time. You might say, oh, but Cryptid, that video is not that old. Correct. That video was also old when I uploaded that one. So this one's a little bit, it's extra ripe. I hope it goes down like fine wine and not like old milk. I say that knowing full well this was a speed draw that didn't actually go well, and I will get into why. So like I said, this is a continuation of me trying to do the sort of painterly style of drawing, which, as you may have realized, is not my go-to, it's not my forte, it's not something that I'm particularly skilled at, it's just something that I dabble in from time to time when I'm trying to go for that sort of look. So if you haven't seen my first painterly speed draw, I recommend you go watch that, because that one went a lot better than this one does. And also I discussed sort of like the inspiration behind it, because these speed draws are sort of a future version of my characters. Two of my characters. The last one was more edgy, and this one's a little bit more hopeful. So, yes, I recommend you go watch that video, otherwise this might not make that much sense. Or it will, I'll try to explain. But before I do, and before we get into the video, if you haven't already and you'd like to support the channel, why not subscribe and join us and stay here and watch me struggle to paint in a style I don't know how to. And if you think that's hilarious, why not drop a like as well? Alright, let's get into the video. So, I'm just going to briefly talk about why I said I haven't had a lot of time to draw lately, and that is because I have been absolutely just going balls to the wall. Can I say that? I have been just cranking it with my new animation, this new one that I'm making that none of you have seen yet. It's very spicy, it's new. And the reason for that is because in a few days, oh god, less than a week, I will be going, if you can't tell from my accent, I live in Australia and I live in a city, but in about a week I will be going out into yonder rural areas for, a few days. And I don't particularly want to be animating while I'm down there, but I would really like to get the one I'm working on done so that I can upload it when I am. And because of that, even though I've said that I do need to make new avatars and I need to record new speed draws, I just haven't really been doing that. Every time I've sat down at my tablet, I have been animating. And it's going well so far. I really hope I can get it done. And if I don't get it done, then this video will make me look like an absolute clown. But, this kind of thing takes time, and I'm doing some things with it that I am not very good at. There's some dynamic lighting and full body movements and stuff like that. And so, we'll see if I can actually pull it off. That being said, I do have some speed draws pre-recorded, which I will be putting up, because I have been just pushing forward new content at the moment, and I haven't been uploading the stuff that I've got backlogged, and that's kind of been a good thing, because now I do have things that I can still upload even when I don't have time to just be drawing and recording that. So, speaking of which, this speed draw that I'm currently showing you right now, it was a little bit of a doozy, I have to admit, because I discussed during my last drawing in painterly style speed draw that I find it quite difficult to paint dynamic lighting on pale skin tones, because it just doesn't look quite right when I do it. I'm not very good at that, and I find it much easier to do vibrant lighting on somebody with darker skin, because it just reflects more and it looks less bizarre and less alien if you do it, a bit too strongly. So me being as smart as I am beautiful, I decided, why not, for my next trick, I will do a painterly style dynamic lighting portrait type thingy of my palest character. Yeah, so So for that reason, I had a little bit of a struggle bus with this one. Not only that, but I decided to do it like, not just a bust, I had like a guitar involved, and a microphone, and he has his mouth open, which is also hard to do in painterly style, because I have no clue how to paint teeth. He also has curly hair, which, I mean, Felix, who is the person that I last did in this painterly style, he also has curly hair, but his hair is dark, so I could get away with not putting so much detail. Leo is the character that I'm doing right now. Leo has fiery red hair, pale pasty skin, and freckles. So I was setting myself up for issues. So to add to that, because I was like, okay, he's performing on a stage, he's got his guitar, he's got his microphone because he's a performer, that's what he does, or he busks, like in the actual plot, but this is in the future where he's like advanced to being on stage and being in front of people. And so he's got like sort of stage lighting on him, and it's blue for some reason. It's like concert lighting, you know, that's sort of what I was going for. So I've got this blue lighting on this pale pasty boy, and I did end up making him a little bit darker than he actually normally would be, just to make it a little bit easier on myself, because otherwise I think he would just look translucent. And that's not quite the look that I was going for. So I think I did actually redraw his entire face. Repaint it, should I say. I repainted his entire face multiple times because I just wasn't happy with it. It just wasn't working. His nose was too small. His nose is still a bit too small. His mouth was too big. His mouth is still a little bit too big. But it's better than what it was the first couple of times I tried to do it. I also messed around with the background a little bit because I wanted to give him, I don't know what I was going for, but I just didn't know what sort of background to give him, because let's be honest, I was not about to paint like a full stage background, that sort of thing. I just was not about to do it, not when I have this level of detail in the foreground. The background was just going to be a plain solid color like it was in my last drawing, because I sort of wanted them to like go together, kind of, and I just could not decide on a background color. You'll see it switching a lot throughout the speed draw. I had like orange, I had blue, different shades of blue, I had like a greeny color, and I just decided to go with white eventually. I think you can tell that I was a little bit miffed that this didn't go quite so well as the first painterly style drawing that I did. I still don't know quite what to call it, but they're kind of like, not really a series, but just like a couple that go together. This one that I'm currently drawing and the other one, where this one is like sort of a lighter, more optimistic future for this character Leo, whereas the one that I did for Felix is a little bit more pessimistic, and he sort of goes down a bit of a darker path before getting better as he gets older. Let me tell you a little bit about this character. So this is Leo. Leo Parker is one of my two main protagonists. If you've been watching some of my other content, you can probably tell that the other main protagonist is Elijah, which, if you don't know much about him, I highly recommend watching like these couple of short animations that I've got up on my channel right now. They're not bad. And so this guy Leo is a big tall beanpole. He's very like gentle and soft-spoken. He's also quite awkward and socially anxious in general, which doesn't go exactly hand in hand with his career of choice, which is busking and performing and making music. He loves music. Music is, it's a lot to him. It runs in his veins, and it is his one sort of outlet of creativity into the world. And so he has trouble with the fact that he is super just like anxious in general, not confident in himself, but he loves to make music and he likes for other people to listen to it, but he doesn't like playing it for other people, which, you know, is sort of like a catch-22 for him. But eventually, as he gets older, which is what I'm drawing right now, as he gets older, he does overcome a lot of that anxiety with the help of his friends, because as he's grown up, he's sort of put a lot of pressure on himself to be happy and be less anxious, and is sort of under the impression that everybody else has their lives worked out, but he doesn't, and it just makes him feel worse about himself. But, you know, as he grows older and as he comes into himself, he sort of realizes that everybody has their own problems and it's okay to, like, not be okay sometimes, and that he just sort of, I don't want to say grows out of his anxiety, but he grows more confident with himself is what I'm trying to say. So this, what I'm drawing now, is just sort of him like on stage performing finally, like, songs that he's written a long time ago, and he's never really gotten to show people or perform to people, or never felt confident in doing that. And this is sort of like his moment of, he's older now, he's more confident, and he's finally made it to the point where he is able to perform on stage. Because in the country where they live, Gemini, they have an annual music festival, and it's not like Coachella or whatever. It's like, this is their Christmas, sort of. Like, this is their national event kind of thing. And so people from all over the country, all over the continent really, come down to Gemini, and they go to the Gemini Music Festival. And there are just a lot of different stages. There are like bigger ones for larger events and smaller ones for people who just want to like show up and participate in it. And it lasts for like a week. And so that's something that he aspires to do, because even though there are, for example, in the smaller stages, you find people like high school bands or garage bands, or like just people starting out and stuff like that just want to get their voice out there. That's where they perform. And even though he has always been at a caliber that could perform there, he's been too shy and too anxious to do so. And so when he finally does get up there, he doesn't even start on one of those smaller stages. He starts at sort of midway up, because he is genuinely very, like, quite talented. And so when he finally performs there, it's like a big moment for him, because he has overcome these sort of hurdles that he's had to go through. So that's the story behind this painting. Is it even a painting? I don't know, because it didn't go well. I feel like there's a lot of outlines. Back to the actual drawing physicality of the work. I feel like this is not painterly, because I sort of tried to save it a little bit with I threw some outlines in there, you know, and just like, it's not as smooth and it's not as soft or as delicate as the last one that I did, which annoys me. And I just feel like his face looks weird. I feel like his features are too small, and it looks like him, but it doesn't. I mean, he has a lot more hair than what I would normally draw him with, because I picture as he's older, he'd probably let his hair grow out, because he's kind of like, because, you know, he's like a little bit hippy-dippy, whatever. And yeah. I also feel like I probably should have put a little bit more effort into the microphone. But by that point, I was just kind of done with it. So, you know, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about it, because I have probably been looking at this far too long to actually give any valid input on it, because I just tear it apart, is pretty much what it is. And it could also, as I said, be the fact that I have been looking at it for so long, because this speed draw took me much, much longer than my last one, because it was just a pain in my butt, really. And I redid the face multiple times, and I probably shouldn't have screwed around with it so much, but I feel like the overall end product is not that bad. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. Could be a lot better, but it could be a lot worse. So anyway, that's pretty much all that I wanted to say on it. As I said, I will be away. I mean, I'll still be posting, but I will be, like, not in a place where I can be animating for about a week. So hopefully I'll get that one animation out. There won't be another one for, you know, a little while, a couple of weeks or so. I try to work on them. Typically I can do like around 30 seconds in 10 days, but, you know, we'll see. I might actually upload some old work, because I have some work that I never uploaded. So I might try that, and you guys can tell me what you think of it. It won't be quite up to par with what I normally post, but, you know, it'll be something. And I do have another speed draw that I have pre-recorded that should go up either late this week or early next week. We'll see what happens. But that brings us to the end of this video. If you liked it, and I certainly hope you did, why not leave a like and subscribe? If you didn't like it, a little odd that you're still here, but hey, go ahead and leave a dislike. If you'd like, you can follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok. Links will be in the description. And hey, if you like what I do and you'd like to keep me awake at night while I work, why not shout me a coffee? Link is in the description. Alrighty, that's all for today, and I will see you in the next one. Later.